Hello, my name is Jim Baird and I would like to introduce you to Waste Buddy. This is a series of videos I've prepared in support of a waste budgeting tool, hence the name Waste Buddy. It's evolved to its current level of development and is based on many years of working with local authorities and municipalities to understand how different recycling and treatment strategies interact with each other to deliver value for money and recycling targets. The tool is made freely available to anyone who wishes to pick it up and use it. There are no restrictions to its use. You'll note that it is Excel 2010 based, but has a good deal of programming within it to expand the ability of Excel to handle some of the unique interactions that need to take place. Nothing is password protected, and for those of you who want to delve into the code, then you're clearly free to do so. One final point before we move on is that Waste Buddy is made available to you, and therefore I cannot be held responsible for how you might choose to ultimately use it. Having said that, I believe it's a useful tool and I'm happy to respond to any questions, and if there is an interest, I may set up some training webinars on using Waste Buddy in the future. So watch this space. So, is Waste Buddy relevant to you? Let's establish that first. First thing to stress is that it's designed specifically to help local authorities or consultants plan waste services. So, if you are responsible for and have an interest in managing or reporting against waste budgets or tasked with having to find financial savings, then Waste Buddy can help. If you want to explore recycling options and the impact of treatment options, then Waste Buddy can help achieve that too. So, Waste Buddy lets you explore options with the confidence of seeing what the budgetary impacts are. So, if you're knowledgeable about your systems, if you think you can get the necessary information from colleagues on core costs of the assets used in waste services, vehicles, crew, fuel, contracts, then Waste Buddy is for you. Well, what does Waste Buddy not do? Well, first thing to stress that it's not a model in a traditional sense. It doesn't have performance equations or standardized costs for waste vehicles. Rather, it gives you full control over what kind of costs or performance assumptions to use. Every local authority or municipality is unique. Its geography, its housing types, its suitability of vehicle types, you're best to decide on these. Waste Buddy will help you think about these things in a structured way, but you know best how your system performs and what kind of infrastructure changes need to be made. Waste Buddy sticks to its core tasks, and because it's spreadsheet based, it allows you to lift data and present whatever information you want to use in order to make decisions. So, to help you decide if you want to explore Waste Buddy further, let me offer an outline of the key elements that go to make up the tool. First, waste is presented to a council from several sources. These sources can be at the curbside, the doorstep from the household, or at a recycling centre, drop-off site, civic community site, any centralised facility that the public might bring waste to you. But waste can also be collected from other sources such as commercial premises, schools, from litter, street sweepings or gully waste. Collectively, all these sources represent the total waste arisings that has to be managed by a local authority. Waste then needs to be collected, or in the case of recycling centres, the council needs to provide attendance to help the public sort their waste. This might also need to be treated in some way or landfill. These elements are known as schemes. And associated with each scheme are costs. These costs can be varied. It might be capital purchase items that occur every 5 years, leased equipment, staff, gate fees, or even landfill tax. Waste Buddy tracks the waste through each scheme and determines the overall costs of each scheme over up to 25-year period if you require. So, how does it work? Well, let me illustrate the relationships between each scheme in a very simple example. Let's say that the waste presented by the households across the community is garden or yard waste. The council can choose to provide a garden waste collection service and send this material direct to a composting operation and pay the composting contractor a given gate fee per tonne. We assume in this case that the material has now left the council and has effectively gone to market and can count towards recycling. However, we might choose to instead to send the material to a treatment scheme, let's say an in-vessel composting plant. In this instance, there may be some rejected material that has to go to landfill and therefore cannot count towards recycling. So we might send a percentage as a residual waste stream to landfill scheme. Now, also associated with each scheme are contracts based on a cost per tonne, giving us complete flexibility in defining how waste flows through each of the different kinds of schemes and the associated costs. Each scheme has its own worksheet in the tool, and you describe how waste flows through WasteBuddy, effectively through each scheme. It's worth just saying a little bit more about treatment schemes. These can be material recovery facility operated by the municipality or a contractor, where some element of rejected material is sent to landfill rather than to market. An anaerobic digestion plant, even an energy from waste plant, where there's clearly process loss through the combustion process and some bottom ash is landfilled or recovered in some way. All of these options can be modelled in WasteBuddy. So, to conclude, WasteBuddy is easy to use, and if you're familiar with Excel, then you'll be working right away. Some of the complexities, though, are handled in the background. You don't have to worry about the connectivity of the schemes. You can see where the waste moves through each scheme, make it entirely transparent. It brings together your waste budget and your recycling information to help develop new strategies to increase recycling or make financial savings. So, if you're interested in learning more about WasteBuddy, it's made available to you free and can be downloaded at our Greenox Solutions website. And if you have any questions, then you can also email me and I'll respond accordingly.